What up? What up? What up? Another Wednesday night delight with the
Yes,
ladies.
it is. Hey, Money.
Hey, Kayla. I'm sorry, Money McGee. Hey,
Right.
Kay. Anyway, how you doing today, hon? How's it going?
I'm doing well. A different, as you guys can see, we are in a different scenery today. We're live in person. So being able to work off of each other's energy.
Yes.
Talk, actually have that camaraderie instead of just being online with you guys. Check out this space. You guys see, this is a sports talk show. So we are bringing all of the sporting goods, memorabilia your way. I mean, just take a couple angles. You see Muhammad Ali back here.
You see the Steelers.
Clearly, we got
pool
some Green
tables.
Bay Packers fans.
Yes, honey. I'm seeing
everything, you guys.
This is a great setup. So
Yes,
shout out
it
to
is.
the host with the most.
I might have to pull somebody out on that pool table and take somebody for what they're worth. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so Miss Williams, our faithful viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Hi, Miss Williams. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
And let's bring our one and only lady night guru who has all blues, St. Louis Cardinals, and anything in between, Miss Jobo. Welcome.
Joe.
Did you break your 75 hard and start drinking or something?
Man, unfortunately, I have not had a drink today.
But the day you had, you probably want one.
Yeah.
I know I do.
I don't know why she just had to call me out like that because I'm sad about it. I did fail my 75 hard, though. I'll be transparent with you guys. I had to take a step back only because last week was chaotic with the flooding. I had some other things going on, and I'm sorry. I just couldn't get 2 workouts in a day.
It's okay.
I did need a glass of wine, so that was had.
I wish I could drink a glass of wine for you now, hon, because again, it's raining. So anybody out there, I am so sorry if you all are dealing with flooding. I mean, at this point, I feel like you have to get around St. Louis with Noah's Ark. I mean, it's just water here, water there. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you. And if you are streaming live on Facebook, make sure you hit the like. Also, your Instagram, we are on YouTube. Of course, I don't have my imaginary bell, but I'll make a makeshift one. Your YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click on that bell. Also, all our shows are archived on the Roku channel. And for all our listeners on Hot 365 Radio, you can tune in to us anytime as well. And also, are we on Twitter? Did I miss Twitter? Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Twitter.
314 Sports Talk. All right. And of course, it's just ladies' night on the first Wednesday of the month. But on the last Wednesday of the month, we have the Man Cave. We have some hot fellas out there that got good topics to talk about. So make sure you tune in on the last Wednesday of the month for their show as well. All right, ladies. So what is going on? We got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. Miss Money McGee, you tell me, what is the latest and greatest on your mind right now at the sports world?
The latest and greatest on my mind? Well, obviously, we're going to have a lot of topics to run down, all the way from the WNBA to baseball. We had some trade deadlines. We're going to tap in with our Cardinals and see, if they acquired any good assets, what they're going to be looking like in the future. Are fans happy? Are they not? We'll do some updates on Brittany Griner. We got a lot in store for you guys. We really do. But other than that, on my end, other than the flooding and everything, again, like Bunny said, to anyone who's been dealing with damages or that devastation, our heart goes out to you, because I am also dealing with that right now. And, just this world can get crazy, but we're going to all get through it. So this is our time to just unwind, be together, be able to talk about something that isn't very stressful. So we're going to focus on that and just, again, bring some good energy, positive vibes to you guys. We're hoping to receive those same vibes and energy back. So again, if you're watching, make sure that you leave comments, because we love to interact with you guys. So please, stay involved, stay engaged in the conversation. But yeah, other than that, I am just now in preparation mode, full preparation mode for Miss USA, everybody. We officially have a date. Yes.
Yes.
We have a date. October 3rd is going to be
Okay.
the Miss USA final.
Yes, Queen. Yes.
I'm
Get the snaps
I'm
going.
hoping I can be crowned the queen, but
Mhm.
you know, a little under 2 months. So I'm just really hitting the gym hard, hitting this diet hard,
Okay.
really just, and again, full blown pageant prep mode.
I'm here for it, honey. I need to be
Mhm.
taking some notes because this full pageant mode could be helping get this down some. But until I hit that, I'll just sit there and keep drinking and all that. So
Girl,
I'm
you
human,
are a
sorry.
mom of two.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah. So anyway, Jobo, what's going on in your world, honey? What's the latest and greatest?
Out here in the boondocks, as Fred says. Shoot, I don't know. You guys, Twitter's boring now that the trade deadline's over with. We'll get into all the baseball talk, trade deadline talk. But yeah, I mean, that's really about it. You know, over here in the Boa County household, just working, and hopefully you get to watch a baseball game tonight for the Cardinals. But honestly, that's it. You know, and hopefully, like you guys already mentioned, everyone's okay with the flooding and everyone's safe and sound.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I know they have a current rain delay with the Cardinals game. I don't know if they're going to call it or not. Like, what will it take? Because I'm telling you, on the way here was plenty of lightning in the sky. Plenty.
Yeah, I think it's hard because we have 5 games in Wrigley later this month, I think, again. And then I think there's like a mutual off day September 1st. So they might have to do that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens because it's supposed to rain until like noon tomorrow.
Okay. Well, you said Twitter is kind of boring right now, but that's just for the baseball world because
Right.
football training camp is going on. We got football training camp specifically for NFL and for the NCAA as well. So yeah, don't
You're not
worry.
even on TV. What are you talking about?
Really?
I called you out.
Oh, she's wrong. Why? Why me? I'm
Me and
the
Fred have
innocent
been
one out the
telling
group.
you.
Yes. So, let's see, ladies, and since it is a
Well,
lot
what about
going
with
on,
you, Bunny? I mean, you know, we can't forget you. Tell us about
she
what's
already
going on
called
in your
me
world.
out. I mean, I'm boring right now, guys. I don't have a Miss USA pageant to get prepped for. I don't have to be out in the boondocks and make sure that all the acres of land around me is fine. I'm just here going to work and coming here to spend time with you, ladies. That's
Well,
it.
how's the baby doing?
Oh yeah, I do have a couple of those, huh? They're wonderful. This past Sunday, we did a baby blessing for my month-old Sanai.
Nice.
So it was a good turnout. Family, friends came out, and she looked cute in her little white dress. And she's grown up too fast.
Yeah.
She's actually pulling up and standing on her own. She's not walking, but she's trying to because I think she's trying to catch up with little sister. So I'm not ready.
Look, a natural born athlete already.
Have you seen them legs, baby?
So early.
Them thunder thighs, baby. She is built as an athlete, honey. Okay, she didn't get it from me, but baby, she's ready. I'm telling you.
Send her my way. I'm
Have her
ready to
train with
the
you.
next generation.
That's what I like to hear.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess since we caught up with everybody,
Yeah.
viewers, again, if you are watching, whether that's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or Roku TV devices, make sure that you are staying involved with our conversation. Drop a comment if you want to add your 2 cents, or if you want to ask us a question and hear what we think about it. We are more than open to. You can look on the screen and see how you can stay up to date with us here on Ladies Night.
Feeling right. It is ladies night.
All right,
Oh,
Miss
working out.
Williams. How about England's women's football team winning the UEFA championship by beating Germany 2-1?
How about that? And I'm glad she brought up their football team because their football team is different than our American football team. But it's a segue because we can bring this up when we have our special guests come on too.
Right. Yeah, we will save that. We'll save that question, Miss Williams, for our special guest, who I am so honored to introduce to you guys all today. So this is a woman who I have known personally for many years, someone who has become a friend to me, a mentor. She is a trailblazer in our community, a pioneer, just someone who is St. Louis to her core and stays true to this city and also to the sports world. She is the owner of the St. Louis Surge and the vice president of community relations for our new MLS team coming to town, St. Louis City SC. Again, a dear and personal friend. Everybody, please, round of applause and a big warm welcome. Welcome for Khalia Collier!
Woo! Miss Khalia is in the building.
I just hope that I can get my words out today. I'm struggling.
That was a long resume there.
Oh, that wasn't even the surface level of it.
I was reading our little rundown and I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff that's going on. And I'm over here just being a mom.
I told you guys I'm the boring one. Look at all these fabulous women. What you all have going on here? Sheesh.
No, I will tell you guys and our viewers that Khalia is one of the most impressive women I have had the pleasure of meeting and knowing and making friends with.
I paid Michaela to say none of these things.
She did not. She did not pay me anything, but I think very highly of you. I think you know that.
And she knows it's mutual. So
Yeah.
I am so happy to be among you two lovely ladies. And as Michaela McGee shared, she has been a powerhouse since I first met her when she was in high school, which is
wow,
so crazy to date back.
Powerhouse since high school. Woo-wee. So you guys definitely have some stories and some time that you all put in together. Good.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. So, Khalia, I'm going to let you just take the stage for a little bit. I know I introduced you, gave a little bit about your background, but hello. Oh, look at there. Difference maker in this mic. We're trying to get it together, everybody. You know, it's our first live session together in person, so we are going to make this happen. Just bear with us. But again, Khalia, you know, you're from St. Louis. You yourself were a multi-sport athlete growing up. Just talk a little bit about your background for us.
I am, as you shared, I don't think I can get any more St. Louis. I've been here my entire career, born and raised. I even have the claim to fame to be a high school Hall of Famer now, which is so St. Louis.
Okay, now I'm here
jealous,
for it.
actually.
What high school did you go to? So I get to proudly rep the Bulldogs. But, you know, this has been quite the journey, you know, to be celebrating our 10th season anniversary with the St. Louis Surge, and to think back as a kid of now being able to have the first women's professional basketball team right here in our city, and I'm living my dream. So it's definitely been a journey.
Right.
And you've definitely been a great job at trailblazing this, because I know you said 10 years, and before the 10 years you were doing other stuff too. So I'm just saying it's amazing for the time that you put in being from St. Louis and all the work you've done. It hasn't gone unnoticed. And again, this is what we're here for, to give you your flowers while you're still here, because we do appreciate all that you're doing in the St. Louis community.
Thank you. I love the claim to be a rookie and a vet at the same time.
There she goes.
It's not official unless you quote Drake.
Literally. Oh, and fun fact about Khalia, she is a Drake fanatic. So if you ever play
really,
Drake, I mean, how much of the lyrics she actually knows, I mean, that's always up for debate. She does love her some Drake. 100%.
Okay. Drake's number one fan here. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, that's a good thing to claim. I'll say that.
No shame.
Exactly.
Now, Khalia, you have intertwined worlds with soccer and basketball in your lifetime, but even you personally, you were a collegiate athlete and you played two sports in college, correct?
I did. I
Yes.
played basketball and golf in college.
Yeah, basketball. and golf. But you
golfer.
did play
Okay.
soccer growing up.
My first sport was actually soccer. And I played club soccer, and my parents were like, you have to choose. Soccer, as we know, can be incredibly, not only is it incredibly competitive, but it's also incredibly expensive once you get to the club and travel level. And I couldn't do both. And so that is exactly why I'm so passionate about what I do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that. Well, first of all, let's talk about your collegiate years. So again, basketball and golf. I mean, you know, it's not too many people who get to do two sports in college.
Right.
So talk about that experience for you as a woman being a dual athlete at the collegiate level.
You know what? Basketball, it was definitely the game plan. No one could have told me that I wasn't going pro. Like
Okay.
that was the ultimate goal. And then I was as injury prone as you could ever imagine. And so I ended up going to a small NAI Division I school at Columbia College. I was back-to-back injured, and most people didn't know that I played golf in high school. And so it was a natural segue for me once I got hurt again my sophomore year of college to transition my junior year into golf. But I love being competitive. I love staying in shape. And outside of playing the game, I've always enjoyed the business of sports.
Okay.
And so I want to make sure that I keep my pulse on it because I'm a student of the game. I watch every game film imaginable, whether that's basketball or soccer, just because when you're a student, you study every aspect.
Yeah. But you segue now into, front office levels.
Yes.
So talk about your transition then into hearing about the St. Louis Surge, acquiring this team, and really just this past 10 years taking it to a completely different level.
It's one awesome pick selected. This has really been a dream team that's been assembled from our coaching staff. But it was crazy because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I had lost my mind. They were like, what? You're doing what? I had a great career in the automotive industry. I was really excelling in my space. My first phone call went to my best friend and I said, we need a business plan. And she said, what did you do? And I said, I bought a basketball team. And from there, I really assembled all of my friends who we all played different sports in college. Starbucks became headquarters. We established our mission, our vision, our values. It wasn't about basketball itself. It was about the entertainment value and the impact that we could make to truly show what was possible. And that was the start of Surge, of recruiting character first without sacrificing talent, making sure that we were able to assemble a great product with an amazing experience and provide unique value to St. Louis market. And we've done that now year after year after year, and then getting through this pandemic. Wow. Like these past couple of years were, to say challenging would be an understatement. And so after 2021, having nearly a COVID season in 21 to where we had to build a bubble to be back at WashU at Fieldhouse, it's been a climb, but it's been worth it every step of the way.
Oh, good. So with the Surge, when you were at Starbucks, as you call it, your headquarters, it was just you and your best friend, or do you have another group of people to help the team, investing, get this name, all that? How did all that?
So I've remained the sole owner of Surge since the inception. My best friends, who we were in marketing, communications, finance, and graphic design. So very intentional placement of talent there. I got really lucky, incredibly grateful for my friends that really helped build it, and who gets the most credit is Neosha, because she's spearheaded communications and PR with me from the very, very beginning. The start was really being able to develop and create a product for sponsorship. And so having partners like Escalade come in on the front door with Cadillac, having Range Rover be a partner that was my background right out the gate. And before bringing on any investors, I wanted to see what we had first. And we've been very fortunate to build partnerships like Ameren, BJC, Weber Chevrolet, and the list goes on and on of showing that they're investing in supporting women's professional basketball.
Right. What do you feel the lessons that you learned as an athlete that transitioned to you now being an owner and your former general manager and really just starting this thing basically from the ground up?
There's so many lessons. The truth is, playing sports gives you every intangible to be successful. It shows you when you need to lead, when you need to follow. It gives you the ability to get back up when you are devastated from a loss, but you got to keep moving forward. I think the biggest thing that I loved by playing sports was being able to win with new friends that you call family. Like, it's a different level of camaraderie when you play sports, no matter the sport. You really create this sisterhood, this family. And I transitioned that into my role in corporate. Team building is team building. We don't put 12 point guards on a roster. We don't put a team full of goalies on a roster. You build and you play to your strengths. And I think that's something I've been able to do really, really well, of being able to identify talent, help empower the talent that we have to know that, all right, we're always climbing, we're always excelling, we're always looking to do better. And Michaela, you should know the quote by heart now. It's no time for complacency, and I think that's something that I embody day to day.
Yes,
something that could be on a T-shirt. No
she
time
really
for
does. No, she says it almost every single day. But when she says it, she does mean it. So, with that being said, oh my gosh, as our producer
I love it.
I was just about to say, I don't
love
think
it.
anybody knows, well, other than Khalia and
We
her
should tell the
team.
story.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, well, as you guys just saw, I played for the St. Louis
I was like going to
Surge.
say nobody knew that you used to have curly hair because that's what I was taking a breath back.
No,
I was like,
my
whoa.
curls are still there. You know, we had to switch it up just a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. No, so Khalia, again, her and I go way back. So in high school, you know, I was a 3-sport athlete, and I believe it was the St. Louis Cardinals. Was it that award?
You had 2 awards, but the award I remember giving you was at the Gateway Classic.
Yes.
You were like high school athlete of the year, something major. Like it wasn't anything small. Michaela was an absolute dynamo athlete.
And Khalia was actually the woman who presented me my award that year. And we just, since then, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, we were talking on the phone every day or this and that, but kind of just stayed connected, up to date with each other. And as a young basketball player in St. Louis, and this is right around the time when she had taken over the Surge.
Yeah.
So I instantly became a fan. I mean, I used to have old apparel of the St. Louis Surge from their first year. And, you know, I was a person who was going to those games at first when she was so grassroots, really just knocking on people's doors, going to high school girls basketball programs and asking them to come and support. And I mean, that's how so St. Louis this team really is. But as a young St. Louis hooper, I was like, wow, I was looking at this program. I was looking at Khalia, like, this is everything she embodied is what I wanted to be growing up. And then I was like, wow, this is a possibility that I could possibly come and play in my own city. You know, again, like Khalia, when you're young, you think it's WNBA or nothing, you know, but life changes. And I came back home from St. Louis after graduating Florida Gulf Coast University. And I was just in one of those phases of not really knowing what I was going to do. And me and Khalia ended up linking back up together. I believe she reached out to me.
It wasn't quite the story. I'm going to chime in.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Okay. You got a different spin on it. Okay.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I insert that Michaela was recruited. I've been following Michaela's career. She was a Division I athlete.
Okay.
And knowing that we always look for high-level St. Louis talent to be a part of the St. Louis Surge program was essential. So reaching out to Michaela was very much so strategic and had been in the works for a while.
Okay.
Oh,
that was good.
Look,
That's good.
This side, that side. No, no, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because I was able to come on even prior to the basketball season as an intern and worked as a communications and social media intern. And whenever Khalia mentions that it's bigger than basketball, and this is really about developing women and putting them in positions to succeed just outside of sport, that's what my story truly embodies as well, is because she allowed me to not only play professionally and still stay involved in the sport that I love, she allowed me to develop my skills as a business professional and really get that experience that I could put on my resume and then take on from there. And she sits you down. It's CMA, correct? I mean, they put you through studies where they really test your strengths, your weaknesses, like what it is you're passionate about. So the St. Louis Surge invests into these women who come in and play in these programs. So it's not just top tier basketball talent. These are top tier women who aspire to do more and be bigger than just the sport. So kudos to you, Khalia, because I know firsthand what you do with the players outside of what everyone in the fans get to see. And that story will be told one day, I'm sure. But
we'll save it for 30 Under 30 ESPN style.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love it. Let's
put
speak
it
that to
together.
existence. Yes, 30 for 30. Yes.
Michaela will be the one producing it. We're going to speak that into existence.
me and Fred.
All right.
I love
Fred
to do
and
the
Michaela producing
I'll
the
just do the
30 for 30. Making a team effort. Hey.
Joe, you wanted to chime in?
And I just had a couple like quick questions. One, like, where does the drive come from? Because like when I was 23, I was not worried about doing anything but like have fun and hang out with my husband and drink a little bit. And you're over here like
Buying a whole team, right?
right, like that is absolutely mind blowing to me. So like, is there like a parent that you think brought you to that, where the drive came from? in your life?
100%. I have been incredibly blessed and fortunate. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. And so having that hustle and grind has been instilled in me at a very young age. Like I was selling car products in middle school, going car wash to car wash on Lucas and Hunt. Like that's where my story begins in the fifth and sixth grade, selling speakers on side of St. Louis Avenue. So it is, that's the book for the book of the behind the scenes. No one just arrives to exactly where they are today without that journey. And it's some ups and downs included in that. But what I'm appreciative of the people that I've been very intentional of surrounding myself with. And so my parents have absolutely given me that start, but I always made sure that I looked at a level of admiration and whether that's male, female, separate of the industry, emulating the greats. I think that's something we all have an opportunity to do. And when you see it and it's something that inspires you, it makes you hungry to say, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And so that was the very beginning. And then my mother instilled in me, if better is possible, good is not enough. So there's simply not ever a moment of time that you can be complacent. And so I really do try to strive for that. And with a combination of the Kobe mentality, of the Mamba mentality, it's a combination of both.
And you know what? You know she did so St. Louis because she said she was on St. Louis Avenue hustling. Okay, now it doesn't get any more St. Louis than that.
Everybody, don't mind me. We gotta make some corrections.
We're gonna make some corrections over here.
Okay,
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Real quick, and I think I'm gonna stand up because I don't know. I just want to and.
Sure, stretch those legs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's all good. Hey, you got basketball legs, okay, honey? So you strong, you toned, and you working
we get to do what we want to do. That's what I've been told. So whatever. Okay.
I love it.
All right. Well, we got to talk a lot about basketball, but again, that's just one of the many hats that Khalia Collier, the owner of the St. Louis Surge, wears. She is also the vice president of community relations for St. Louis City SC, baby.
Excited. One more year we're being seasoned, right?
March 2023. We're
Let's
ready.
do this.
Look how beautiful that is, by the way.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Fred, for putting that up there.
I get so
really pretty like that.
It looks great. And if you've been driving around downtown, I'm sure you've been seeing this piece by piece all come together. And now Miss Collier is a part of this puzzle that is bringing some beauty into the city of St. Louis. Talk about how you got involved with this organization.
You know, what I love about what St. Louis City SC stands for, when we talk about being a new spirit in St. Louis, it stems from the ownership group. The family has made sure that they invested in St. Louis and the region, but not just for the game of soccer, but to revitalize the Downtown West region and district and create.
Did you guys coin this Downtown West thing?
Downtown West is now a thing.
So I need to know because I remember whenever I was doing, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we were doing stories.
It wasn't.
And all of our producers, because we put Downtown West in there because they kept saying it.
I've seen it on stuff for real estate.
Downtown West, like all of our producers, like, what's Downtown West?
The West end of it.
Whatever they're calling it.
The West end of it. Yeah,
has our stadium, our headquarters, our training facility, and our entire footprint. Yeah. And so that was very intentional of creating a new destination in St. Louis. And it puts St. Louis on an international stage in a completely different way. The world is watching. And that's what I love about the game of soccer is that it's the world sport. Yeah. As much as I love basketball, soccer is the world's greatest sport.
Very universal.
And it gives us such an opportunity to unify the city in a really unique way at a new scale.
Yeah. And then so talk about your role. So obviously we know that you are great at networking, building relationships. Like you said, you're passionate about this position because you do get to create opportunities and spaces within the city for sports. So just talk about exactly what it is that you do.
So my role as vice president of community relations is a strategic community outreach, what we're doing with our sporting department of making sure we bridge the gap of soccer in our community and being very intentional with our nonprofit partners. And that is a combination of what we're doing with our corporate partnerships that are looking to elevate their brand, but really amplify all the work that we're doing in the community. So whether that's soccer sessions, whether that's leadership workshops, whether that's opportunities to provide nutrition and dietetics and youth development, health and wellness and community investment, of creating an infrastructure of removing barriers and access to the game that didn't exist. And we're doing so and being very, very, very vocal about making sure that's including the Black and Brown community. St. Louis has had such a rich history of soccer for such a long time. And here's our opportunity to make sure that it spans across St. Louis City's region.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So when you mentioned earlier, you used to be a soccer player, and then you said your parents made you choose. And one thing about soccer, you said it's expensive, like on the lower level of clubs, and when you're basically elementary school age to up, and it's more expensive. So what is something that, as a community partnership, and you're working with other companies, how do you all help to try to eliminate the cost, or I guess have somebody be underwriting to make soccer accessible to anybody? Don't let money be the reason why you're not interested.
That's a perfect tee up because all of our programming is free to the community.
Oh, okay.
All of our advanced training, all the work that our community coaches do, all of our opportunities to engage of actually expanding training to grow. And what you see for a lot of it, particularly Black and brown kids, your first sport is soccer. Biddy ball, YMCA days. What happens is as you get to 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th and you continue growing, then it kind of prices you out, and then those opportunities of where you're playing becomes less and less unless you're driving out to the suburbs. And so what we're doing now is creating that infrastructure that will be St. Louis City, focusing within a 10-mile radius of our stadium and being able to provide opportunities again that didn't exist. And so we have really great corporate partners that are committed and dedicated to that work. But it's at our mission and vision to make sure that we're incorporating that every step of the way.
Okay.
So City SC's mission is to be an exceptional club and neighbor, and you cannot do that without knowing your neighbors.
True.
So that requires us to be entrenched in the community, and that's a lot of that grassroots background that I love. It's nothing more than I love is being actually entrenched in the community and being able to listen before speaking.
And you do that very
well. And we will say that, again, just covering City SC and watching each stage of this development, you guys have been very inclusive, very focused on diversity. And that's even within your guys' front office staff, because that's a unique situation here. You guys are the first female-led MLS organization. Talk about the significance of that.
What it is trailblazing. Carolyn, our president and CEO, has done an incredible job of trailblazing right here in her own city. And I think it gives us a unique example to be able to showcase that this is first of many for Major League Soccer. And we're really excited to see how this continues to grow and set the stage for others.
And you guys can
she's
see
on the screen.
That is Carolyn Kendall Betts, the woman, the myth, the legend herself. Met her plenty of times. She's great, and she is passionate about what she does with City SC and within our community as well. So shout out to her, and just shout out to all the women in sports who are paving a way and trailblazing here in our community. Joe,
how do you do with scarves?
I'm thinking that too. I love the scarves that do wear at soccer games, like the international community. When I see them on the screen, I'm like, man, that is dope. I know we have some with St. Louis City SC. So I can't wait when people start wearing it, not just at the soccer games, because this is really like a staple for soccer to wear the scarf. They're hot.
It is.
Well, you guys, we still a couple. Wow, I am so sorry.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here.
Michaela, are you sure you didn't have any alcohol tonight?
I am so serious. I have been clean, Joe.
I am a hardworking woman right now.
Exactly.
Man.
It's just, who knows what's going on in this brain of mine. But we are a couple short months away from City SC taking the field. But we do have City 2 here. So I do encourage you that if you haven't supported or done anything with City 2, gone to a game, I've actually gone to several. They were very, very fun. It gives you a little taste of what's to come in those next couple of months. So are they playing right now, or what is their season?
They are playing. We're gearing up for hopefully going into playoffs. So City 2 has been incredible, and it's built the anticipation for what our first team is going to look like.
Okay, good. Yep. Some of the games are the ones that have been at SIUE's campus.
We played at St. Louis University in Southern Illinois.
Whoever's over marketing, good job, because I get the emails. I'm like, wait, when did I sign up for this? But I'm glad I know. I'm glad. Keep me in the loop of what's going on, what
marketing,
the games are. Yes, good job.
Games, top tier, events, top tier. Everything about this team is top tier.
I'm loving it.
So now we got to dig into the dirty details because we want to know it all. What are some things that you could give our viewers, our fans, a little bit of insight on what we can be expecting within the next couple of months? Because I know you guys are so sneaky and surprising with your drops and what's going on. So give us a little taste, Khalia. Come on.
Now, Michaela, you're not going to get anything out of me except stay tuned.
So we need to be
Stay
following you all on Instagram, on Twitter,
That's right.
Facebook. Okay, there you all. You hear it. If you want to get the big drop, you got to tune in. Follow them on social media, St. Louis City SC.
And also, the St. Louis Surge will be going to the playoffs this weekend. They had an incredible win last Saturday against, it was Detroit.
We're on a winning streak
Yes,
right
they
now.
are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So big win last weekend to finish the regular season. We finished 6-4. It's been incredible just to watch. This is a young, talented team. We've assembled the Avengers of legendary coaching staff with Coach Petra Jackson, Coach Justin Tatum, and Coach Jerome Douglas. They really have been instrumental in the development of our players. But what's so fun about watching the St. Louis Surge is not only are they incredibly talented, they really are a family. This has been the best chemistry and the best season to be able to return back from this pandemic to showcase where the St. Louis Surge goes for the next 10 years. As I said, this is year 10, but it's really year 1. And this gives us an amazing, amazing foundation to build off of.
And they curate a fan experience, let me tell you. As a player, just being on the court in that atmosphere, feeling the love from all of our fans. We have some diehard fans who want to stay after, get an autograph after every game, but also the VIP experience. You can come in, get food, there's beverages, get nice seating, watch the game. Again, all this something that's been built over the past 10 years, but that has come together so beautifully. What is the future for the St. Louis Surge, and what are you projecting within the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, the future looks bright. Let me tell you that. The fact that we shattered and set an attendance record this past Saturday was a really big deal. It shows the momentum that's going to be carried over in 2023. It shows the next level of marketing. The facilities at WashU Fieldhouse are incredible, and we have a phenomenal partner there. But we have some major aspirations within the next 2 to 3 years, and I'm going to tee it up. So I guess one could probably guess what we're manifesting in action. So I won't stop until it's packed and until we take it to the next level.
That's what I like to hear.
Sorry, I was just going to say we had a couple congratulations there on the Surge, and back to the stadium. Miss Williams and her son, they said they saw it from the progress from the field. It's looking good. View. And she also had a question on what City 2 is, if you could explain that a little bit better.
Yeah, City 2 is a part of our Next Pro. It's a development league through Major League Soccer. And so that gives us an opportunity to really be able to have homegrown talent and players from all across the country and world to be able to showcase at the next level that have opportunities to transition into our first team, but is a development team in Major League Soccer for Next Pro.
Okay. Well, Khalia, I would like to leave you with the last word, and then we're going to get into some of these topics that we have going on for the rest of the evening. What is your personal biggest goal right now?
My personal biggest goal, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. I am working on just being. And I know that sounds incredibly simple, but I am someone who operates in goals and timelines, and I'm supposed to do this in X amount of time. And one thing that has been made equivalently clear to me is that you have to just go with the flow. And when things are in the universe, what will be, will be. And that's something I'm really, really, really focused on, of just being, not sweating the small stuff. We have so much to be grateful for, and continuing to pour into others and make positive impact. We're only here if you're serving and being a servant leader, and that's something that I want to do every day as much as I can.
All right, keeping it simple, but it's still impactful, though.
Just be.
Okay, well, is there anything else that we need to know about what's going on, especially with you? I mean, you are all over the place, have your hands in so many different things, but we appreciate you being here with us.
I appreciate you all. Like, this is amazing. This is showcasing powerhouse women. We talking sports, but you two are phenomenal. This makes fun and entertainment to be able to digest all of this amazing content. So thank you all so much for having me, and I look forward to coming back if I'm welcomed.
Oh,
you are welcome, but we just aren't quite done with you yet. So you have to stay and chime in a little bit on these other topics, just because we want to hear your fabulous insight. Well, we're going to go into what's in your cup, everybody. And I know Joe thinks that I have a bunch of everything in mind right now, but I don't, Joe. I promise you.
Maybe next time?
Maybe next time. I got to get through this pageant season, and then maybe you guys will catch me.
Then we'll
So November ladies night.
We'll be popping bottles next time if I have another crown on my head. That's all I do know. But yes, so I would like to kick it off because we did get some breaking news today. Paige B, I always mispronounce her last name, Buchers, Buckers.
Bucher, I say.
Yes, at UConn. Came in, phenomenal athlete. She's probably one of the best, if not the best, collegiate women's basketball player right now. It just came out today that she tore her ACL in a pickup game today. So, thoughts on that? She was coming off of an injury during the season, but was able to make it back to have that final stretch going off into the NCAA tournament. They got to the finals. Devastating loss for them. But, I mean, how do you guys feel about Paige, about her injury, and just kind of next steps moving forward for her?
Paige is a beast. And what I know is she is resilient than ever. She's going to be surrounded with the best medical staff and resources to get her back as quickly as possible. Incredibly unfortunate because this was UConn's comeback year into 2022-23. But I have all the confidence in the world that Paige will be back. She is just a force and so much fun to watch.
Right now, this is going to be her third year there?
This would be going into her junior
year.
Oh, yeah, I guess with the COVID year and all that stuff.
Oh, so she gets makeup year. Okay.
Girl, I can't keep up with
That's a good question. I don't know if she'd be a junior or a senior.
What is she classified as? I don't really know because, I mean, she came in during the COVID year.
Okay. So I think everybody got an extra year eligibility. If you came in or was already there in 2020 when stuff shut down, they were getting all athletes.
They did get an extra
year. So, and I was asking that because if she does rebound in the middle or at the end of this current year, at least she still has a whole nother season that she can still do it, before she decides to go to the league. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And Khalia made a good point. She is going to be surrounded by the best medical staff. So she seems to also have always a very positive attitude, even when she's going through injury, which I do appreciate about her because even being the star that she is, when she is hurt or when she has to sit out of a game, she is still the loudest on the bench, getting up and cheering and rooting her teammates on. So I think that shows a lot about her character. And that's something that we see a lot on the UConn bench because I think Gino really harps on that. Like, if you're not going to support your teammates or if you have a bad attitude on the bench, you'll never get in the game. But it's something that I see lacking in a lot of other programs and also with other young athletes, especially as these newer generations are starting to step into it. So kind of segueing into that, how do you guys feel what is the importance to you guys for players, their attitudes on the bench and supporting their team, whether they're hurt or things aren't necessarily going their way?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. And most of the time, if we're recruiting, I can read stats, I can watch game film, but I want to see how you interact with your teammates. I want to see what happens when you miss a shot. I want to see everyone's high-fiving when you're winning. When you're losing, that's the difference maker of when it really starts to reflect your character.
Right.
And so, one of Gino's favorite lines for me is you have to work really, really hard to make it look easy. And I think that is what UConn's program make sure that they instill in every single player. And that goes for on and off the court. Right. And so on your roughest, toughest day, you have to make sure that you're staying positive, that you're giving yourself positive words of affirmation. And the only way to move is forward. You can't go back to the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, no time to dwell. And I think that's what athletes get best of. If you're really going to repair and rebuild and you're going to come in with a right mindset, you got to be positive.
Well, let me ask you this, since you all are both professional basketball players.
Oh, I don't get that title, but thank you very, very much. You can pass that one to
sorry.
Michaela.
No, because that's the professional basketball team. So I'm not going to shortchange
I don't play. So as much as I want to look the part, I don't get to claim the title of professional basketball athlete. But I am an athlete. Okay. But thank you so much.
Well, still, since you're both affiliated with a professional basketball team and you have and you were basketball players. So is that natural to want to automatically cheer on your teammates when you're on the bench injured or not? Even let's say high school, because we're talking about the next generation. Is this something that quote unquote needs to be taught to them, or should this become natural? Like, as long as you're a competitor, as long as you like to compete against, women or anyone else that you're competing against, sports or not, that it should be cheer your teammates on, cheer on your coworkers. Should that be natural, or do you think that has to be taught?
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's intuitive for those who are just naturally, you have that type of spirit, you have that type of energy. That's Michaela every day. She's going to cheer for you. If you're down, if you're up, she's always riding. And that's something that I love and appreciate from Michaela, because you always know she's going to come in with great energy. And for those that's not their natural personality, you have to teach that. You have to coach that. You have to encourage it to make sure. The biggest thing is I live life by the golden rule, right? And so you treat others how you want to be treated. So do you want people being silent for you, or do you want people cheering for you? And so if the answer is yes, then I suggest you reciprocate.
And I will second off Khalia. I agree with her. I just, as an athlete and then watching others, being a coach, my whole thing, and even with some of my former teammates, who I always thought had the worst attitudes. It's just like, who wants to be miserable every day? Who wants to sit through a game? Who wants to go through a practice and just be miserable? I remember whenever I was playing at Missouri State, we were going through a practice, and I was having a good practice, but I was a freshman. I wasn't getting the amount of minutes that I wanted to get, but I still would go in and work hard every day. I was having a great practice. I was getting all these offensive rebounds. It was one of those drills where, like, if you got offensive rebounds, they had to run. And there was a senior, I started laughing when I got a rebound. She started cussing at me. She's like, why are you effing smiling? Like, she was calling me weird and all this stuff. I was like, wow, you're really miserable today, aren't you? Like, I just turned and said, it must be really miserable for you today.
Wow.
And it's a reminder, though, for those that project negative energy, it always says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've also learned. Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personally.
Because
clearly they got something going on, or that's just their spirit. But again, I wanted to, every time I was on the court, I wanted to enjoy myself, and I wanted my teammates to enjoy themselves. And then especially getting to the professional level, everyone, the higher you go, the tougher it's going to be to get on the court, because everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be good. So sometimes it's just about opportunity. It's about time, just being ready whenever your jersey's called, perform when you can. But I do think it has to be instilled, and it has to be the culture of your team.
Agreed.
Okay.
Because I think that also falls a little bit on the coaches, and I think that's why Gino gets praised for it so much, is because he makes it a point that if you don't do this, then there's no way that you're going to get on the court.
That's leadership.
Yeah, leadership. So I think that comes from leadership from your coaches. I think just the overall culture of your organization, and then again the type of people that you bring into your program. So
because for us at the Surge, we won't tolerate it. If you think that your ego, or you think that you're coming in better than anybody, then this simply isn't the program for you.
And Joe, you've played sports too. I mean, have you ever had any of that energy, around you, or maybe felt that? Because there's times where I wanted to be negative. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect, but you make a conscious choice and decision to not give that energy out,
Yeah, I mean, like my freshman year playing softball and whatnot, they already were like scouted me, I guess you could say, in middle school. So I kind of knew I was going to have that starting catching position in high school on the varsity team. And there was another girl that was extremely negative about it. And I played softball with her pretty much my entire life. She didn't like that. And I don't know, I didn't want to ruin my chances of, being a freshman starting catcher. And so I just kind of put my head down and did my work. And she ended up quitting the team, and like whatever, she was the one that was being negative, and she lost out on opportunity. But I mean, I always, if it's negative around me, I just try to put my head down and do my work that I have to do.
Put your head down and do the work, Joe.
I don't want any of the drama. That's why I barely have any girlfriends, because it's too much. I knew you were
gonna say that. It was saying too many girls, too much drama.
Am I wrong?
It's not indicative of women. It is indicative of personalities, male or female.
Yes,
because I know a lot of girls that have very negative attitudes.
Right. Look, plenty of storylines right now that's playing on ESPN. Those are men involved in this. Okay,
100%.
A lot of drama.
We have to start perpetuating that, because that's not true. It's not that women enter a room and it's drama filled. It's personalities, and you can get a group of men who have all the drama in the world. And so what you want to do is create the best environment, separate of gender, separate of ethnicity, separate of age, and you're just creating the best positive space.
Well, this was high school though, and you can agree with me. High school girls are drama filled.
A little bit of drama sometimes, Joe, for sure.
Yeah, okay. All right. But now, most of my friends now are older than I am, so maybe that's why I can get along with females now that I'm getting older.
Maturity plays a role for sure.
And I think, honestly, as getting older, it's very important to have other women who are good friends and role models and mentors in your life. That's something I've learned as well. And I think as athletes, we've all understood that your teammates are kind of the people that you're forced to be around, but they can become family, and it's a blessing that when they do. But as you get older, it is important to have those relationships and build. And it's just in life, and hopefully your teammates and people who you meet through sports can become those people for you. But Khalia, I'm gonna pass the cup. What's in your cup? What's been on your mind in the sports world?
Right now, I mean, I'm pretty laser focused. This weekend for the St. Louis Surge is playoffs. The only option is to win. And so that's something we're focused on. We're building, we're preparing, and keeping that energy, and that is winning energy. It's interesting because my mindset doesn't change. It doesn't matter what hat I'm wearing, what role. It's having a winning mentality is something you embody. And I've never met anybody that wakes up and they're like, man, I want to be average. No one plays to lose. The game is to play to win and to strategize to put yourself in the best situation and the best outcome, whether you're playing a sport or not. For those who are in corporate, for those who are entrepreneurs, for those who are just grinding, you're playing and you're working to win. So I think that's something to where I'm having fun.
That's good.
So that's what's in my cup right now. Joy, Michaela.
I got the joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. Yes.
I guess I gotta get brought up to speed the next time I cue that.
I'm just flowing with it.
It's just an old children's church
It
song.
is. You learn that from this big, yes.
I wanna put that together because the St. Louis Surge is a professional women's basketball team here in St. Louis. It's in the GWBA. I'm kind of bringing it back to the Surge just because you brought it back up. Talk about this league and how you guys are looking to expand it.
It is the vision for the Global Women's Basketball Association. We're 4 teams, 4 incredibly talented, great ownership groups, great competition every single weekend. And the goal is to grow that number by 2, by 4, by 6, by 8. And you're going to continue to see that because you're watching this next level of investment in women's professional sports across the board.
Right.
What I love is that we're not going back into the 50s. You've seen a tremendous amount of wave of new leadership, new dollars, new capital that's being inserted to be able to grow women's professional sports in general. And it happens to now benefit women's professional basketball. And so being able to attract new ownership groups, and we have the standard has been set. The Surge model of being able to replicate that in other markets, that's been something I've been really working on to scale it and take it to a new level, but also provide a blueprint for those who are coming in and interested in ownership group. Here's the baseline and the standard of success that we want you to come into. That way we can actually exponentially grow and have everybody. I'm big on all boats rise with high tides, and that is the goal of making sure everyone is successful so you get to see it consistently.
Well, let me ask you this, since you brought up a good point. You, again, bought the Surge. You did all this behind the scenes. You grinded. You have it to fruition. It's here. How would you help the generation behind you, young ladies who like, I think I want to do what Khalia did. I want to own a team, or I want to be a part of the coaching staff, or like, how would you do to set up a mentor program to have the young ladies behind you be able to be in your position?
As Michaela said, that's why I'm so passionate about making sure that players understand that you can do so many things simultaneously. You don't have to just choose one thing. You don't just have to be ball is life. All of these intangible things that we've learned by being an athlete are things that we incorporate to make us successful off the court. And so a huge part of that is you can't be what you can't see. And so I hope that I'm able to inspire and really show this next generation, but particularly young girls of color that look like me, that anything is possible. And the goal is this next generation is supposed to be smarter. They're supposed to be faster. They're supposed to be better. They're supposed to be more successful. That's the whole point of passing the batons in the next leg so they can carry it. And I think when you have that mindset, it makes sure that we're multiplying and we're able to do things that I expect Michaela to outgrow and be more successful. And those are things that we expect of each other. And on top of it, we hold each other accountable.
And again, I will always give Khalia her credit. She is not just paid the way, she is making sure that she's going back and grabbing people and showing her the steps that she took to get to where she needs to be too. I know in a lot of areas, fields, and professions, people are out there seeking answers and help. And, like, what did you do to get there? And then sometimes you feel like they're gatekeepers of information and don't really share those resources or really tell you, okay, this is what you need to go do. She is that person. And again, the St. Louis Surge internship opportunities available with them. I'm sure St. Louis City SC is going to open up some of those doors as well. But again, I can tell you as somebody who had to go create opportunities for myself as well. And that didn't, it comes through network, number one. And number two, you have to start thinking outside the box and seeing where you want to be and then start putting yourself in those rooms.
And just as important to that next generation that's looking, and not even the next generation, our current generation, it doesn't matter how old you are if you're looking for new opportunities and you're going for your dreams, is don't be discouraged by the challenges and the obstacles that present themselves. The only people that don't make it are the ones that quit. That is a simple fact. And so the difference is most people be like, well, this isn't working. Well, they didn't call me back. You have to stay the course. And that's something that, I look at these overnight successes and people don't realize that they've been in the game 7-10 years.
Yes,
It
long
definitely
time.
wasn't overnight. We don't plant seeds and watch them blossom the next day.
Right.
It's just not how it works. And so with that level of consistency and dedication, it does pay off. As cliche as it might seem, I promise those it works.
Can I tell an inspirational story?
Please.
Hit us.
Right.
Hit us with an inspirational story.
It's the story of the bamboo tree. Okay? Everybody listen good. Bamboo plants are one of the most unique plants in the world. They get planted and they're caretakers. They water them. They make sure they get enough sunlight. But bamboo trees take 5 to 6 years to even reach the surface.
Never knew that.
To even reach the surface. But once they reach the surface, they're the fastest growing plant in the world. And I say that to say, if you are in a season where it looks dark and you're grinding, you have a dream, you have a vision, keep watering, keep putting sunlight and positivity onto it, because once it hits the surface, it's time to take off.
I'm taking all that in.
Hey, receive that.
Receive it. It was my
wise one over here. The wise one.
my Chinese proverb moment for you all. Okay?
I like it though.
No.
Good to know though.
All right. Well, Bunny, we're passing the cup.
Ooh, my
What's in your
cup.
cup? What's on your heart?
Besides being on the regular day-to-day stuff of life, I don't know, just again hearing Khalia, Michaela, Joe, and I said at the beginning, like, be in a room with positive women in sports, talking how we are. This is really, really big to me because I've reached out before to this person, that person, trying to say, hey, how can I do this? How can I do this? And of course, you hit a dead wall or no reciprocation. So sometimes it's discouraging, but I'm like, I'm a positive person. My sister tell you that. It's funny. I find the good out of any person and anything. And it's just good that in my cup right now, I'm not feeling discouraged to where I'm going to give up. Like, just keep going.
Keep going.
And again, sometimes, especially coming off of, having another child, it's like, oh, goodness. No, because I know women have done it from the beginning of time. We are some bad women.
Moms are like superhuman to me. I don't think moms give themselves enough credit. So please, you should have all the motivation in the world that you can do anything.
Literally.
I'm still new at this though. Like I'm new at balancing 2 instead of 1 child. So it's still looking at, again, because I look at some of the WNBA players who are moms and stuff. I'm like, they're grinding and people aren't seeing what they have to do when they get off the court. Because, the season is only a few months, but they're off season, they're still working and doing stuff. And I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. It's just one of those things. Again, just keeping myself encouraged because I said I know eventually.
Like you're a pretty incredible multitasker.
Yeah, literally.
You're here tonight.
Well,
Buddy, don't tear yourself down. You'll be cooking meals.
It's just because I feel like, man, I forget so much. You all, I promise you, I need a clone. I'm like, man, I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. But then eventually it gets clicking, and then I fall off that. But anyway, I just know, again, I love the positivity. I love, like I said, Joe and I, we would have our disagreements about baseball and
Mhm.
Michaela again because she's in the world of sports and pageantry now. So I'm like, oh, let me hear this about, this is good to know. I like hearing new things, and I like to hear people's story,
Mhm.
where they've gone, how they got there, and where they're going next. And that's the
Mhm.
same thing. I'm like, wait till I get to tell my story. So
Right.
that's it.
Love it.
Joe, before I pass the cup to you, I just have one more question for you, Khalia, in terms of the St. Louis Surge. Are you going to keep or is the GWBA going to stay its separate entity, or is this something that could possibly be a merger collaboration with the WNBA in terms of maybe like a feeder league or?
This is a parallel path. And so, how
Mhm.
I look at the vision of the GWBA is that we're going to continue building and creating great ownership groups
Mhm.
that want to invest in women's professional basketball. But we're also building as the first G League to ever
Yeah,
be assembled.
exactly. Yeah.
The level of talent that you see a part of the Surge, the fact that we have on average 7 to 8 All Americans, we have several
Mhm.
former W players on our roster currently
Yeah.
with some incredible local talent. That's not just with the St. Louis Surge, that's with every other team
Yep.
that's in the league. So when we look at the opportunities that exist in the W, absolutely is it the pinnacle of basketball without question, but there's so many players and talent that's not getting opportunities.
Yeah.
And so that overflow of talent, we're getting to actually hand select and build and give them a new platform that they didn't even know existed.
Mhm. I agree.
So it's two-pronged.
Yeah.
And what I definitely believe, Michaela, is there's just never just one path.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so I believe in parallel paths, and whichever takes off first, either
Yeah.
way, we're still going forward.
Right. But I mean, I just always sitting back pictured that was the vision for it.
Yep.
I just wanted to double check. So I wasn't out here just
So you're
spreading
hearing it from
false
me.
Right,
information.
no, right from the
Yeah.
horse's mouth here.
Exactly. All right, Joe. Well, here's the cup. It's getting passed to you. What's in your cup today, Joe?
Well, first, I got a couple things. Bunny, you need to stop tearing yourself down. You go on the show and you're cooking and taking care of your kids. You're doing awesome as a mom. Khalia, are you watching The Captain, the Derek Jeter documentary? Because I feel like I'm listening to Derek Jeter talk when you're talking about all this. You can't lose, you got to win, and blah.
It sounds like I need to add it to the list.
You should. It's a very, very good documentary.
I
Yeah,
haven't watched it either, y'all.
They came
Yeah,
on
there's-
starting after the All-Star break. All-Star game for MLB.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's 4 episodes out. The next 2 come out tomorrow. But shoot, I feel like I'm listening to The Captain right now. So, but I know I mentioned it in our chat the other night, but this has been on my mind since last night. So Vince Scully, he passed away last night. The old Dodgers broadcaster. If you don't know him, that's sad. I'm sorry. I don't know, but he was great. He retired in the broadcast booth in 2016. He just had a special way of doing his job. He wouldn't just tell you what's going on in the baseball field. He would tell you specific stories of these athletes. And I don't know. I know my husband tweeted out like he was our voice falling asleep to when we lived in our apartment together. Because they were on the West Coast. And I don't know. It was really sad. It's like it was sad, but he lived a really good, happy life, positive life. He was always trying to do positive things, make people smile. And that kind of just goes with the flow of our show so far, I feel like, is all this positive energy. So like we did lose him, but it's more of a celebration, honestly.
Paying respects to the greats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, because this week, Scully, Bill Russell, and somebody else we lost. Told y'all my memory.
Bill Russell was an absolute legend.
And I commend him not just of course on the basketball court, but because of the civil rights activism that he was doing ahead of his time. And that's why I said the same thing with Colin Kaepernick when he was getting flack a few years ago. I said people can talk about they don't like athletes protesting and speaking out at their current moment, but years later people are going to appreciate them because they always have to do something going against the grain where people don't like it in the media or sports fans don't like, but it's still needed. And I'm glad that Bill Russell was as vocal as he was for speaking out against civil rights. And even though, again, he just passed, it's so many people that got to talk to him and learn from him. You hear it all, the athletes were on social media expressing their condolences and saying how he impacted their life. So, that he did a lot for people. And I'm glad that all these years after he retired, he was still in part of the NBA. You will see him on All-Star Weekend, so people still will appreciate him years to come.
Still appreciating him, and just and just a champion in every single realm. Again, a champion for the civil rights movement, one of the greatest winners in sports history. And then to be able to take his knowledge and still pass it on to players who are currently in the league. I mean, we saw Jason Tatum put out a post that he was receiving wisdom from Bill. And, that's a very young player in the league right now who is on his way to stardom. Hopefully he's going to have a very good, successful, and prosperous career. Again, St. Louis homegrown. I think that is also important, is that these legends, and I think Kobe towards the end of his career was really good about doing that as well, writing a book, getting out and doing podcasts. And he's always been good in the media, but to really release that knowledge and let people see what a winner looks like, what a champion looks like, what it takes to really go to the next level in whatever it is you want to do in life. And I think Bill embodied that, was that, and to his last breath. And, rest in peace. Gonna miss him. And I'm sure, the league is going to continue to honor him throughout the rest of the season. With that being said, it's come to that time where we unfortunately have to say goodbye to our special guest, everyone. So if you could please, send a little comment. Tell Khalia what you liked about what she brought to the table today. We appreciate you coming, Khalia. It's always a pleasure, again, just receiving your insight and just hearing the incredible and also a million things that you're doing in your own life and the community. And everyone needs to tune in and watch the St. Louis Surge this weekend. It is a non-negotiable, so you can go to their website. That's
stlsurgebasketball.com.
All right.
Yes.
I'm Bunny. Thank you so much. Michaela, thank you so much. Thank you for producing and being in this awesome studio that's just filled with legends itself. And to Miss Missouri, well on her way to being Miss USA.
Ooh, I like that little ending. Okay.
Thank you so much. And again, we're giving you the open door. You're welcome to come back.
Yes, you are. We
forget
appreciate your time. You're good here. Bye. I'm going to give her a hug, everybody. Love you. Good home
I'm
safe.
going to go to office tomorrow.
Okay. All right, Joe. Jobo.
What's up?
It's your time to shine here, baby. Let's go ahead and talk about these Cardinals. MLB trade deadline is finished. Are Cardinals fans going to be happy? Are they not? Let's talk about it. Go ahead and kick us off.
All right, so obviously everyone knows that the biggest story of the entire trade deadline was Juan Soto with the Washington Nationals. It was talked about for about 2 weeks, I guess, that Cardinals are very realistic. It's very realistic that he could be coming to St. Louis. Obviously, you guys see on the screen that him and Josh Bell, which I'm still absolutely mind blown by that part of the deal, are heading to San Diego. They'll be making their San Diego Padres debut tonight in about an hour. But you know what? Yesterday I was really tensed up about it. I'm really happy it happened early in the day. Really happy about that because
the suspense was killing you, huh? It was really killing you.
It was hard to get some work done to begin with, and if I had to wait until 5 o'clock, that would have been horrible. My work would have been bad. Anyway, so I don't know. Like, now that I had time to think about it, sit back, look at things. They said that they knew they weren't going to get them on Monday night. So I wish as fans we would have known that Monday. But again, it's just whoever reports stuff. It's not their fault. But it's a little depressing. Obviously, as a generational player, but if you look at what the Padres gave up and a lot of the drama that was behind it, with Eric Hosmer's no trade clause, and now because he didn't want to go to the Nationals, now Luke Voigt's in Washington, and Eric Hosmer's with the Red Sox. It was just a lot of drama, and they gave up like 5 or 6 of their top 10 prospects. Me and Fred have agreed, you got to give talent to get talent. And I agree with that, but I don't know what our team would have looked like if we got rid of Carlson, Gorman, and then also probably Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn, Gracefo. Like it would have been a lot. So I think all in all, it might be more of a miracle, that it didn't happen. We still made moves, like now that I look at it, we did get okay pitchers. I do feel like if the Cardinals did their job in the offseason, this trade deadline would have been a lot different. But we did get 2 left-handed starters and a reliever, so it did make our team better, and that's all you could hope for, I guess. So I think all in all, teams, Cardinal fans should be happy about it. Maybe not ecstatic, but they should be happy about it.
Are you comfortable losing Bader though?
I am.
All right, so
I can honestly see it coming, Joe.
I'm indifferent about that. I really
could,
am.
because okay, I didn't want to break your heart when I figured that the Cardinals weren't going to get Soto over the weekend. What we had to give for him, I was like, were the Cardinals willing to get rid of all of that for a player that may only just stay this season and
But
next
I
year?
think that they were willing
They don't never
to
move
do
like
it.
that. Mo doesn't move that. When we were surprised when we got Arenado, right? Everybody was surprised. However, that was an anomaly because the Rockies, they kind of foot half of that bill, not more of it. So that was a one-off that we looked, and we know Mo was working behind the scenes, and that was in the off season where he had a little bit more time.
Yeah.
This one though, the Cardinals Mo does not move like this, and I'm always complaining they need to open their wallet, spend on players, yes, but when Soto's asking price and what he's worth, the Cardinals don't do players like that. If they're not from the farm system already, and we're not going to buy and spend. That's why I said look at Arenado. If he was a regular free agent and it was in the trade deadline, the Cardinals wouldn't have gotten him when they did. They don't move like that. So, but we're talking about Bader. I could see him being a tradable piece because, again, how many times have we dealt with injuries in the last 2 years? They want to see him on a regular. He's been dealing with injuries, whether it's his fault or not. They did not see him enough, and he still had some value to a team. So I see he could be on the trading block, and it happened. That's why I said I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so when it comes back to Soto, real quick before I answer the Bader question, is the only reason why I think I said it not last week, but 2 weeks ago on the show, I gave us like a 30% chance to get him. And I only really said that because Mo has come out and said, if it's for a certain player, like right now, if the Angels said Mike Trout is on the block, I 100% believe that the Cardinals will be in on that. It's because it's not just some Joe Schmo, like this was Juan Soto. He's 23 years old. You get him for 3 pennant races. And then, obviously, if you don't want to pay him $500 million, then you don't got to pay him $500 million. You hope you made it to a World Series or won one by then. But another reason I believed in this whole, chance of getting him was because years ago we were in on Stanton and his ginormous contract. He just didn't want to live in the middle of the country. We were seconds away from signing, not trading, but signing David Price until the Boston Red Sox put a couple $1 million in on that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what gave me hope, and I think that's what gave a lot of Cardinals fans hope. But I think all in all, it'll be like a blessing in disguise. I mean, obviously, it's Juan Soto. The Padres are going to be electric to watch, especially when Tatis is back. But they haven't won a playoff series since '98. I was 4 years old in '98. I have since seen the Cardinals in the World Series 4 times and win 2 of them. So like the Padres, they're desperate. They need to win, and so that's what made them go over like that. But back to Bader, I will say I was shocked. Like at first, I saw a tweet saying we got Jordan Montgomery, but it didn't say who we gave up. And then I saw Bader, and I was kind of just like confused about it. And Dylan Carlson's shown that he can play center field, and I think that's the number one reason why this is happening. Dylan Carlson has played really good Gold Glove defense out in center field since Bader's been dealing with this. I can never say this was a plantar fasciitis or whatever. I can never say that.
Yeah,
but a fashion statement going wrong because.
But and it's funny is because on John Boy Media, which I brought that up with Michelle Smallman, there are a lot of Yankees fans out there, and they were really confused and kind of upset about it because Jordan Montgomery, in New York was a 3-4 guy in the rotation, so. They thought that they were going to get Bader and possibly flip him for maybe a Pablo Lopez with the Marlins. And now they're just confused because they gave up a starter for Harrison Bader, which, to them, their goal is to have him healthy by the playoffs and be a defensive replacement. But they already have a guy like that. So I don't know. It's confusing. I think it'll work out more so for the Cardinals because we do get them next year as well. And that will help out with our rotation. But It's kind of weird though because his first start with the Cardinals is gonna be against the Yankees at Busch Stadium. So let's see how that goes.
And then you want to look at things you do want to look at the long game, but at the end of the day, we do have to remember that we are trying to make it to the playoffs right now. And Joe, like you just said, defense is not the Cardinals' issue. And it's really never been the Cardinals' issue. The Cardinals' issue is offense. The Cardinals' issue is pitching, and I think that they were trying to make a serious trade, and I think they were putting up serious offers to try to get Soto. I believe that. I don't think it was a stint or anything like that. I don't see this trade with Bader and Montgomery, really. I don't think that they were trying to, play what's it called, like hide and go seek over here to try to get this going. It's not that type of deal. But again, it's just like what's the real significance in this trade? Who really knows? Because it's like the tick for tat game right here. But in the long game, yes, I don't think that we made any bad moves, but did we make any significant moves? Did we make any great moves?
They made a couple of inches of a move and not a foot. But because we're in the Central Division and it's not the most competitive, the Cardinals can get away with the moves that they did. They did a couple of pitchers because we knew that was badly needed. These aren't, of course, the top of the line pitchers, but it's enough to where we can do a good playoff push. That's why I said more moves like this every trade deadline. We'll give it a couple players, bring in a couple just to see maybe we can get into the playoffs. Now, winning it and going to the pennant, he hasn't done that in a while.
But though, so you talk about that, Bunny, with just get in, and that's, as long as I can remember, that's probably been their entire motto, is make a couple moves for it's usually pitchers here and there. And then it's hope to get hot. And then a lot of times that is what happens. Okay. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the best team always wins, because I'm not saying this because I'm an Astros fan. The Astros had a better roster than the Braves last year, but the Braves weren't even 500 until August last year. Like they had a really good roster, but they got hot at the right time. Their GM went out and got 3 outfielders at the deadline that they desperately needed, and they played good baseball down the stretch, and that's why they won. So I do think these 2 pitchers and the bullpen piece, like I said earlier, they do make the team better, because we were throwing out Jordan Hicks in the rotation, Andre Palante in the rotation. Jack Flaherty can't stay healthy to save his life. Like they're just, and again, that's on the front office, because they didn't make the necessary moves during the off season. They're going to have to change that, because you can't just trade for a superstar one year and a superstar the next year and get away with not getting rid of big assets. Like, you're going to have to go out there, trade some of these guys to get a legit 1 through 3 starter next year. So hopefully that's what happens. And then with the National League Central, that's the Brewers traded their all-star closer. If you've seen the videos from the Brewers clubhouse yesterday, they're pissed off at their front office that they got rid of Josh Hader. They're pissed off that they didn't go out there and get a bat for them. Like, right now, they're winning right now against the Pirates, but Corbin Burns, the Cy Young Award winner last year, got beat by the Pirates last night, the day they found out that their all-star closer is gone and they didn't make any moves. So that could be something right there that helps us win the division.
I was about to say, but that's what Mo knows. Our division, everybody, Cardinal baseball, Cardinal front office knows. We are in that competitive division. I thought we will be there like this year, next year, because everybody saw the Reds getting better, supposedly. The Cubs trying to make a comeback, and of course the Brewers. And now look where we are. Cardinals, Brewers, the closest to, that's it. It's like, here we go again. So that's why I think if we had consistent years of the division being really competitive, back when the Cubs, right before they won a World Series and they won it, and they were like, okay, now you got to start making moves because they're good and you got competition. And it just like in a couple of years, blink of an eye, we're back to just only the Cardinals and one other team maybe. So without them having constant pressure, I don't see the Cardinals front office trying to do another big move. Again, Arenado was a one-off, and I'm glad. But are we trying to get, again, another bat? And I said over the weekend, by Sunday, I said they're not going to secure him. We would have been close. I'm not saying it was a game or hide and seek, but
Mhm.
it would have been already pretty much done by then. It still would have been that yeah, nay, maybe. I know entertainment, the sports, so they had to have storyline. You had to have something to write about. So the people that were giving us this information, this is probably what they were told. But I know, again, how Mo moves. I'm like, by Sunday we haven't done it. They're not going to do it.
You know,
And
what's funny though is you said like when the division was super competitive in 2015 when we won 100 games, the Pirates won 99 games, and the Cubs came out of nowhere and won 98 games, and we were bounced in the first round of the division series against the little Cubbies. You know, so like even that's what I'm saying. Like the best team doesn't always necessarily win, and getting hot at the right time in any sport, honestly. And, you know, in hockey and basketball and football, it's a lot of the times it's not the best team that wins. And so that's what they're just hoping is going to happen. You know, make these small moves, small improvements, and then hopefully do something in the off season.
so I'm going to take it back to a fan's perspective here because, again, Bunny, you mentioned and Joe, you mentioned it's like making the moves to just make the playoffs and then get in and then seeing how long you can go. The team, the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals at the beginning of the season weren't just talking about making the playoffs. They were talking about being a World Series contending team. Okay.
Or bust.
Or yeah, so that's why I'm not trying to be judgmental and I'm not trying to be overcritical of the moves because again, I don't think Mosaic made bad moves. I don't think this was detrimental to the team. I don't think it was detrimental to his career and his decision making. But at some point, fans are starting to get tired of just making the playoffs. We want to make runs. We want to be contending for a championship. So what pieces can we bring in possibly come next season, whenever the Cardinals can start making moves? What would you like to see, Joe, in terms of the pieces that we need?
Well, right now, for me, it's the rotation still. I know you just got, you know, 2 starters, but Jose Quintana, he's going to be a free agent after this year. You'll have Jordan Montgomery, he has 1 more year of control. I think we have Miles Michaelis for 1 more year. Steven Matz, he's hurt again. He's done. So, but he'll be here next year, so we'll see what happens with that. We've already crossed over Jack Flaherty, and we don't know if Adam Wainwright's coming back, and he's probably been your best pitcher at 40 years old this year. You know, so, and we need a guy with swing and miss stuff. When Adam Wainwright is your top strikeout pitcher in your rotation, that's not good. Yeah. So I'm thinking, and there's not many good free agent pitchers that are going to be out there next year. It was talked about during the deadline yesterday. I think we need to put a package together to get a Pablo Lopez. He's a pitcher for the Marlins. I think that's your first big move you have to do. And I'm getting nervous about the whole catching situation. You know, we seen what the team was like without Yachty. Not even just on the IL, but not even in the country. And everyone was begging for this guy just to be in the dugout. Right. And we had Kisner, we had Austin Romine, we had Ivan Herrera up for a little bit. Herrera's supposed to be, you know, the next coming, but we're not getting to see that. Are we confident going into 2023 after 17 years of Yadier Molina and having Ivan Herrera be your starter? I don't know. So you might have to go out there and try to trade for a Sean Murphy or see if you could entice Wilson Contreras to a contract over on the other side of the rivalry. And then the outfield's kind of shaky to me, but I do know that, you know, Jordan Walker, our double-A stud, our number 1 prospect, he's the 7th overall prospect in all of baseball. They have him playing outfield positions now in minor league, so that's telling me that, you know, I thought for sure he was going to be in AAA by now, so maybe he'll start the year in AAA next year and then make his way over to St. Louis. But outfield's, now that, you know, beginning of the year, it was Carlson, O'Neill, and Bader, and you felt pretty confident with that, but Bader's gone and hurt. Carlson's been amazing. And then you have Tyler O'Neill, who he can't stay on the field either. I don't know what's going on with him. So, you know, that one right there, I think the front office just put all their eggs in the Tyler O'Neill basket. You know, he had a great year last year, had MVP votes, and that's that. So I don't know. There's definitely flaws that need to be fixed. I do think we have a lot of the pieces down in the minor leagues as well. And Palante has to stay in the bullpen, and I think that will definitely help out that area.
I just have to make note of this one social media post that the Cardinals put out when Yachty threw somebody out on a steal, and they were like "Yadios." I thought that was so funny and so clever. I love that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a T-shirt worthy." Yadios.
Still a base Yachty of mine. Yes.
Man, that's what they should have called his final tour was Yadios.
Yadios.
Literally. I mean, that was so clever, so catchy. I enjoyed that a lot.
And it's just kind of trade deadline. You got pieces yesterday, and it's Yachty first game back with this guy Waino on the mound. They got 9 more games now before they beat the all-time record for games played as a battery. And first inning ends with the Uncle Charlie strike him out, throw him out down to second. And I'm going to miss that stuff next year, like Waino and Yachty just gunning guys out at the bags. I don't know. It's sad, so I'm just going to try to enjoy that. And
you can cry in the off season, and then you got to prepare for the new chapter of the Cardinals baseball because, again, it's not just
what a chapter, though.
I know, but that's what I felt when Michael Jordan retired, and then comes along Kobe, LeBron. So it was like, hey, we don't know what the future holds, but it's not over. The new Cardinals.
Well, for the Cardinals, I don't know. Baseball, not Manfred, but baseball and as a whole and the players, it's probably in the best shape it's been since the 90s, maybe.
As far as the talent.
The talent on the field is just like I'm watching O'Neal Cruz bat right now for the Pirates. This guy is an absolute stud. I'm scared to play the Pirates now because I got Key Brian Hayes and O'Neal Cruz because they're good. You got Tatis coming back, Soto, just so many young studs. It's so much fun talent on the fields, and baseball I think is in good hands. It's gonna be like that for a bit at least.
Speaking of young studs, let me ask this question. You all heard about the Mike Trout situation. So, what are your thoughts as far as him having that back issue that's so bad that he was the face of baseball at one time? You think now that's done and over with, or what?
I don't know, man. That one's just so it's so up in the air to me because you had some people saying it's not that big of a deal, and Trout even saying I just need to work through it. I don't know. It's sad, no matter what, he was having an MVP caliber year once again, and then something set him back. So you just hope that whatever it is, and it is stupid that we're sitting here like hopefully he could continue to play, but I mean the guy's got kids. If he can't swing a bat, can he pick up his kid? I don't know. You think about things like that, but
and with that to watch. If you guys ever had a tweak in your back, you know how it feels. And now
I don't want to relive how that feels. But I haven't had a major one. But.
And of course, he's going to get the best of the best. Wish him a speedy recovery and everything like that. But the back injuries, I think personally, are the worst injuries to get in sports because your back is just the central. Back injuries and abdominal injuries, because that is your core, that's your center, that's your movement. And especially in baseball, when you are doing so much twisting and winding, I mean, that's going to be tough to come back from and perform at a high level. Now, hoping that the injury is not.
Yeah. Is it to be determined?
Yeah. I don't think, they always keep it on the hush hush. We never really know until we know. But, again, he'll have the best of the best, and we're gonna hope that he can get back. But as Joe said, I mean, this man has a life outside of baseball, and he's had a great career. He might look at it like it's just time to hang it up, but I guess we'll find out.
Hey, the Angels have a lot of issues that we could honestly do an entire show on the. What is their name now? Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Whatever. They're just. Shohei Ohtani was talked about trade-wise. That's how bad this is.
Are they trying to do a fire sale with the players on the Angels? Like they're trying to get rid of
the whole team. It's the
like
organization.
They need to be thrown away. They throw them all in the trash, start over type deal at this point. The organization, not just players, but the Angels.
The organization, I don't know. We all know that Joe Madden was the manager to start the year, and then they fired him. Interim manager is Phil Nevin, and then he's, telling the rookie pitchers to throw balls at people because one of their guys got hit, and now Trout's hurt, Otani's still been good, the whole team sucks. In May they were a good baseball team, really good baseball team, but they're probably lower 5 now in the league. So
they need to put Collier on their squad because she didn't know how to GM and handle them.
Get
okay,
get
you know what I'm saying? Get them together. All right.
They need something, but yeah, it's just it's depressing to watch.
I know we could talk about the Cardinals all day, but we are going to go ahead and move on. Let's start talking about the Blues. And has their championship window closed? Or are things looking up? Because they are making some good moves here right before they're about to start kicking off season. So what are we feeling?
You know what, Joe? How you were feeling about the Cardinals and Soto just a week ago, she was feeling that way when we didn't get
Kachuk.
So it's almost like
that was heartbreaking for everybody.
But say that we said with the Cardinals, but you know what? We move on and see what else we can do to replace it, and still, like you just brought up, I mean, they're still making moves. All because you don't get your creme de la creme, the number one person, you can still get 2 small pieces sometimes, depending on the position.
No.
On the position. Okay, so we didn't get Kachuk doesn't mean the Blues are just like, okay, we're not going to play anything good out there. We're just going to be crappy. No.
The Blues always put at least a decent product on the
Army
ice.
is a good GM, okay? Like I told them. Maybe he needs to go down the street to Cardinals and tell Mo kind of how to do certain things.
They should have did any and everything to get that man in a uniform.
It's okay, guys. I promise.
Michaela, what I gotta say about that is it's kind of in regards to the whole Padres package for Soto.
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 guys with 100-point seasons. The Blues were never going to match that. Mm-hmm. Our best offer that was reported by Jeremy Rutherford was Marco Scandella, who has a terrible contract, and Vladimir Tarasenko, who did have a great year last year, but as Vladimir Tarasenko, he just wants out of St. Louis all the time for whatever reason, and he's got 1 year left on the contract. Mm-hmm. Like we were never going to beat that offer, and Kachuk did say that he's dreamt about it before, but playing in St. Louis in your hometown at a young age, probably not easy. Mm-hmm. He's mentioned having probably 50 to 100 people asking for tickets and stuff. Right. And, mm-hmm. It had to be stressful. I'm more so upset with us not getting Perron back. He's been extremely vocal about how upset and disappointed he is about the whole mm-hmm. situation. He still has all the love and respect for the Blues in St. Louis. He's raised his kids here, but, I know he's, a little bit older, but he put up a good year the last 2 years. He was your best performer and goal scorer in the playoffs, and now he's a Detroit Red Wing, which mm-hmm. they're now the Detroit Blues because they got like 6 former Blues players on their team. So
they know.
I do think that's probably more so kind of like the Josh Hader thing. It's kind of a locker room morale bummer, that's mm-hmm. he's decided to come back here twice after we let go of him, and we're probably not going to see him back in a blue note again. So that one I think is a little more upsetting than the whole Matthew Tkachuk thing, because we had him and we've had him multiple times, and he's shown what he has done. He's supported the community of St. Louis, and he's repped the blue note really good. So I don't know if you can put us up there right now with a cup contender. We have a good team. We still have like 5-6 guys that, had like 80 points last year, but, mm-hmm. Lose someone like a Perron. That's, like I said, that's a bummer. That was like Ryan O'Reilly's best friend last year. Oh my gosh, like Husso saved our season being our backup goalie when Bennington was not good. Mm-hmm. And now it's just Bennington and Thomas Grice. And Thomas Grice is an older backup. He played on bad teams, so that's why his numbers look bad. But I don't know. I think we'll still be good. We'll probably still make the playoffs. But as for like a legitimate cup run, we'll have to get hot, like we said with the Cardinals.
And Grice, he did sign a 1-year contract for $1.25 million. But one thing that I'm a bit concerned about is that the Blues did sign center Robert Thomas to an 8-year, $65 million deal. Defensive man Nick Leddy for 4 years, $16 million. But now I feel like we're putting Jordan Kyrou in jeopardy because he only has 1 more year on his contract, and they've already reached that cap, giving Thomas his new deal. So, Joe, what are your thoughts on Kyrou and their chances of being able to keep him?
Kyrou, he's one of those guys that's up in the air, you know, like last year, the beginning of the year, he had a really good first half, but then after that, he kind of, after the All-Star break, he slowed down. He didn't really show the skill that he did in the first half. His playoffs started to get a little bit better, but he still shows that he has a lot of maturity to do in the game, and he has a lot, you know, so I do think they'll find a way to, you know, sign him next offseason. You know, you can still, I mean, we talked about trading Tarasenko, and we've even talked about trading Krug, you know, so I do think they'll find a way to lock him up long-term because he is an exciting player. He's fast, and, you know, I like seeing him and Robert Thomas together.
Are they going to be competitive this year, though, and competitive early, or is this something where we're going to, you know, we watch them warm up until the very end and then have our hearts broken again?
No, I do think we'll be a competitive team. Like I said earlier, we still got like 5 to 6 guys that's, you know, had like 80 points last year. So I do think we'll be competitive just in the long run. I don't know if I see us, you know, hoisting Lord Stanley there at the end, but you know, anything can happen.
Right.
We were this close this season. And don't forget, people that have broken hearts or they're heartbroken, they do rebound, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you with the Cardinals and this trade deadline and the Blues and get Kachuk. We'll rebound, I promise.
Oh, I'm always going to root for the underdogs. I'm always going to root for the Blue. You know, I mean, we're going to stay loyal to our teams, of course, but you know, it's almost a little bit easier to root for the Cardinals because they are consistently good and they've been good. They make it to the playoffs. They get that talent year in and year out, and you can kind of, you know what you're going to expect from them. But for the Blues, that's like a wild card in itself all the time. So Blues fans, I know their hearts are kind of just like, all right, like when are we going to finally put it all together? Like get the package on, like start hot, because the Blues started off hot last year. Let's keep that in mind. They started off hot. I was like, okay, this might be, you know, we might need to be keeping an eye on this. And then they just kind of gradually started declining, which we know hockey is a long season, you know, players getting hurt, et cetera, et cetera. But I just think that Blues fans are ready for some consistency in their lives.
We'll get there because we've been consistent with playoffs for the whole franchise since they existed, excluding that early for the mid 2010 through whatever that little short stretch. Other than that, we were there every year. So we're used to just barely make it, but we get in and then we know we're gonna fall out early.
Right.
Unlike Cardinal baseball, where we're like, we want to get in and go all the way because we know we can do it. So it's the parallel with the two organizations. It's funny because the Blues make moves and they just come up short. It's like the Cardinals barely make a move, and sometimes they'll get in or they may go even a little further. It's like, wow, we weren't expecting this of you all, even though we expected. But I don't know. Joe, I'm not giving up. They'll still hold up Lord Stanley Cup soon again.
Well, that's my thing is, you know, we won in 2019. Amazing. You know, but then after that, it kind of got weird for sports in general, but hockey, you know, like we had our banner raising night and then not too long after we're shutting everything down. You know, like the Blues were really freaking good in 2020, 2021. You know, it's like when we got into that bubble, it was just weird. They just didn't play good. You know, and then 2021, 2022, like this year, it started out really good, as Michaela said, but then also we had so many injuries. I know every team goes through injuries, but I felt like everyone was injured for a very long time. We still had the whole COVID stuff going on. The NHL figured out how they wanted to handle that, and then we got hot again, So maybe this year's a fresh start, Hopefully there's no other pandemics in the near future, and like we can just get on with our daily lives and enjoy some baseball, enjoy some hockey, and not have to worry about that. Because I do feel like there's a lot of different things going on after we won the cup that kind of dampened everyone's mood, after winning the Stanley Cup. So hopefully this year going into it, we just start off hot and see where it takes us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want us to get one more topic in because we're dwindling down on our time here, but we do have another team coming to St. Louis. I mean, they've already been here before, but they're coming back, and I am very, very excited to be welcoming back the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Come on, Joe, do the sound effects again.
Yes.
Wait, is that even going to be their name? We don't know yet, do we?
No, the word on the street is they're talking about changing it, though. Have y'all heard that?
They're still the Battlehawks.
That was it.
I thought it would too, but
I hope that they don't change it. Oh, let's look at all the cities. They got Las Vegas, San Antonio, Orlando, Arlington, St. Louis, Seattle, Houston, and Washington, D.C. That's a nice line of cities.
Let's talk about that graphic though that he has. The Rock with his ex-wife / co-owner. Look at that look. She's like, shit.
Like,
come play with me if you want.
We still getting money.
Right. That's what that look like.
Miss Williams. Caw.
Yeah. No, I really hope that the Battlehawks do not change the whole caw movement because it was so much fun going downtown and going to the Dome and hearing fans just up and down the street.
It was
caw. I was like, that was even more fun than going to the game. Actually, it was like cawing at people. So, but St. Louis again, the way they support their teams. I think also we wanted to kind of get a little dig, that we lost the Rams. We wanted to show everybody that we could support a football team, that they were going to be loved here and that could have a good, successful career and organization here. I'm glad that we're getting a second opportunity to do that.
I think the St. Louis fans and the city deserves it. Like you said, we do support our teams, all our teams that we have here. And when it went away, as far as, COVID, XFL, X is like, what? Just like we had something going, we're doing good. So I hope that it does be successful again, like it was when we first had the XFL here. And of course, with the fan support, it's going to be noticed that St. Louis is a great sports town. Like we all know that being from St. Louis, but outsiders need to know. Yeah, we're that real deal here. So I think you'll get the fan support again, like we had before, it shut down.
But even back when they were here, we were having the highest fan attendance at XFL games. And by a long shot, we were having the highest attendance. Those teams wanted to come to St. Louis and play. And Fred, remind me, who was the quarterback that we had on the Battlehawks? Joey Tamu. So we had Joey Tamu who played in the the XFL. Jordan. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know his name. That's why I had to ask everybody. So I'm looking at me crazy. But I knew he came and played for the Battlehawks and then went on to go play in the big leagues. And he had a good opportunity, but it was because of the XFL. And I think that's another perspective we have to keep in mind is that this is going to be an opportunity for guys to have another shot at those NFL dreams and to also just continue playing and bring football into cities like St. Louis who don't have those major teams.
Correct. And supposedly that the XFL ownership now is trying to work with NFL. So basically treat like it's their minor league
like
system.
A little feeder league.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And so that's a great idea instead of not necessarily competing because they aren't going to be in the same season. But like you said, we had our quarterback here in St. Louis who was able to go back to the NFL and try. So it's other players that hopefully get the same opportunity. Use XFL for what you need, get better at your skill, better at your position, and see if you can go to NFL. Or if they're trying to again branch off, make an NFL in Europe again, whatever. Just treat it not just we're second tier football, but we're trying to get better because we do have another goal in mind. So I can't wait to see what they put on the field, and I hope again St. Louis will rally behind them as always because we're a great sports fans here. So
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, like Cardinals baseball, Blues hockey. We got the soccer club. We're gonna have hopeful Battlehawk name in the town again. Like St. Louis deserves it. It really does. They get such a bad rap all the time. Like that when Fred showed that picture earlier. Beautiful. St. Louis looks beautiful.
Oh yeah,
The
the
City
Skyline,
SC Stadium.
Yeah,
So that's another thing. Are they going to? Do we keep them in the dome, or do they get their own facility? They're staying in the dome, but is that the actual best decision?
I mean, since the league is quote unquote getting started over again, I don't know if they know what the long term will be. So I don't think they're gonna make a commitment yet until they see how this league progresses and if it stays around.
It's
it probably needs to go like a year or two. I feel like before they like actually create, build something for them.
Right. I just feel like the parking by the dome is so trash.
Let's just talk about parking downtown. Period. First, I know no thing against what happened, but if your car still is there when you leave an event, that's big. If your car's not broken into when you leave downtown, that's big as well.
That's big.
So I'm just saying.
You know what? I will give a credit to they are putting more camera systems downtown, more police cameras are on corners and everything. So hopefully that shouldn't be in half. Oh my gosh, you guys! I do not know why I cannot talk today. But your safety and parking should not have to be an issue when you want to go downtown and support local businesses, as well as it shouldn't be when you want to go and support your local sports teams. So I am
not
hoping
just downtown though, man.
Like, true, very true, very true.
Our car got broken into like 2 months ago in our driveway. So
dang, now that's bold when you do it on somebody's property because you don't know what y'all have in your house. You can come out there and lock and load, ready to go on somebody. That's crazy.
I do like what Miss Williams just said. She said the best thing about the new soccer stadium is that it is it's taking use of property that was not being used. Yes, true. You are correct.
That's true,
Miss Williams.
You don't drive the game, you take the Metro Link. Smart. Hey, way to save on gas and way to help the environment. Yay, Miss Williams.
But we do need to see more space being occupied by actual functioning businesses and, just functional space downtown. But I do like that we can reutilize the dome for the XFL because it is good. It's a good field. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good environment. Again, I think one of the best that the XFL is going to offer. It's just... Again, can we get some parking lots? Can we get
you just like
some,
trash,
something?
Other cities, some of them had that issue too. I'll say that. So I don't want to just pick on St. Louis and downtown parking because I've been to other cities. Sporting event is like
it's just cities in general.
Yeah, I guess it depends. If basically the stadiums that seem to be in the suburbs, they have all that parking there. They don't have the garages and parking on the street and finding where you can get in. But. St. Louis, we're in the heart of downtown with our spaces. So, but again, when you go to the soccer games next year, again, parking around there is limited. And, they're adjacent from the St. Louis City Police Department headquarters. They barely even have parking. I don't know if y'all seen that setup. I'm like, what the heck? So, anyway. So
it looks like they're making moves. I'm on here looking at their website right now, which is why you guys see me looking at the computer. I'm just trying to see if there's anything new that came out that we missed, but it looks like they are putting together a powerhouse team in this XFL program. They have Erica Molman joining them. I'm not gonna read these articles right now, but they got Kerry Gordon. They got Troy Brown. I mean, these are some big names who I think can really come in and make a difference for a smaller league.
Yeah. I think. And put some good talent on the field. Want to see, people see what the Battlehawks is all about.
Right.
Did we ask Michelle Smallman a couple weeks ago if she's going to be, doing her whole on-field reporting again like she did the last time they were here?
She's going to have a run for her money.
Hey, I like that.
No, I love Michelle, and of course that was her gig and everything. So, but I would like to get a little piece of that action. I'm not going.
Hey, that's what I said. Hey, I'm here for it.
Just wear your crown on the field, asking these guys questions.
Right. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You know what? My next year is going to be a little booked and busy, so I might not. Be
a lot of speaking engagements and stuff. And service. Yes. And have you been mastered the wave now? And I think one hand, both hands. You do.
This is pageantry reimagined. I don't have to master a wave. I'm just gonna Hey.
I love it.
Some St. Louis juices up.
I love it. Hey, 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 hey.
Bring a little St. Louis flavor into
All
the
right,
game.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like we are coming to a close. So I would just like to hear everybody's last minute thoughts, anything that came up in today's discussion that you want to get one last 2 cents off, or if you have anything on your mind. Want to say anything to our lovely viewers. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Bunny, you know this rundown. Tell them how they can find us each and every single first Wednesday of the month.
Yo. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show, and you can catch us live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are streaming on Facebook. We are on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. And when you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click on that bell.
Ring a ding ding.
It's just that ring a ding ding, man. That caught me off guard. Also, we have all our shows archived on the Roku channel, and also we are streaming on Hot 365 Radio. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Of course, all our faithful listeners, make sure you tune in every first Wednesday of the month for Ladies Night, and every last Wednesday of the month we have the Man Cave, and in between time we have the Platform Sports Talk Show Wednesdays 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes. And again, you guys, this was our first time. Unfortunately, Jobo was not able to come join us in person today, but you can see our beautiful studio. I just want to give a huge thank you to Eddie and Carmen Gamble. Come on down.
Yay!
They opened up this lovely space to us that they put together. Please just step in the middle.
Please.
So
Beautiful house.
I have to ask you guys, how long did it take to put all of this together? And apparently you guys are sports fans as well, correct? Step up onto the mic. Tell us how long this worked.
Well, we built the house in 2002,
Okay.
and I started collecting stuff like the NFL pool balls.
Carmen's like collecting or hoarding. Now we don't know.
So when the team went to the Super Bowl, I would get there because we would throw a Super Bowl party, and you'd have to play with 2 teams who were in there.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
But I made sure I had the Steelers and Cowboys.
I love that. Yes, you guys have a beautiful space. This is, I think, every sports fan dream.
It is every man cave dream.
Like,
ooh.
When you're tired of it.
Or when you're in timeout, sir, you got to come down here.
Extended man cave, my cigar room upstairs.
Okay.
Well, we might have to check that out after the show. I just know, since we've already, I guess we can consider ourselves friends now, since you've let us into your home. So now that I know if you guys are throwing a party, I'm just going to extend the invitation to myself. I will bring snacks or drinks, whatever you need, but I will be here from here on out. Me and Bunny, the whole ladies' night crew.
Yes. Okay. Can't get rid of us now. All right.
But again, thank you so much to the Gambles just for extending this space to us and allowing us to come together. We're coming off of 2 hard years, and then doing it online is fun, but just being able to be together and again, feeding off of each other's energy, it's always a good time. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Joe, you want to say anything to the people?
I wish I was there with you guys enjoying that. It looks awesome. You guys have a beautiful home from what I can see. But no, guys, Cardinals.
Pirates, go Sixers.
Oh, Sixers fan.
I got you. Okay. All right. I get you.
That's fine. And I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to our producer, Fred Saunders, just for all of the work that he puts in to make this show great, doing all of our graphics, helping us come up with our topics and finding this space, getting this all set up. He puts in a lot of hours, not only into our show at Ladies Night, but all the shows on Platform Sports Talk. So thank you, Fred. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
He's the reason behind all of this. So, yes. And with that,
Yeah.
I guess we're closing out. So thank you, everybody. Again, this is Ladies Night. We are on the first Wednesday of every month. Please leave comments, follow, like, subscribe, any and all things, and we will catch you next month.
Are your St. Louis deuces up?
Ooh.